Hey guys, here's another video from the country Chemist. This one is actually kind of hits home to me because it allows me to use some practical applications of some of the subject material that I've learned along my way to my current degree. A lot of this material is actually covered in high school biology and chemistry courses, and even some in middle school courses. So whenever people keep saying, hey, I don't think I'm ever going to need this in my life, why do I have to learn it? Think again, this material is very important. Every bit of it, because you can always apply this material. This particular video is going to be covering weight loss from the perspective of a chemist. Okay, because this is a big topic, I'm going to need to break it up into 3 videos. The first one's going to cover like the don'ts, the next one's going to cover some math, and the third one's going to be a bunch of general applications and some information and so forth. Okay, as a disclaimer, I am not a doctor or dietitian, so I cannot give you medical advice. And even then, doctors try not to give you medical advice unless you're like actually there and they're trying to diagnose you. So on that note, take everything with a grain of salt. You should still consult a doctor or dietitian if you're going to go on any kind of extreme diet, but these are some tips that you can keep in mind. Okay, so on to my intro. Weight loss is an interesting topic. Everyone is trying to lose weight, which I think is really good because everyone's becoming very health conscious, trying to improve their health. They're trying to improve their looks. That's actually a wonderful thing, but because so many people are trying to be health conscious, we have a lot of crazy stuff coming up. There's a lot of diet options, some of which are good, some of which are really dangerous. We have a lot of miracle drugs, which 99% are pretty dangerous, and there's a lot of exercise programs that have come up, which is pretty good. For the most part, exercise is a good way of losing weight. Some forms of exercise, not so much, but it relaxes your mind and makes you feel better. So we'll give them some credit as well. They don't actually hurt you, and it's better than sitting on your butt watching TV. And you just gotta be careful because a lot of improper dieting can lead to health complications, but you also like snake oil salesmen hopping in on that train and pyramid schemes going around it, and there's just so much stuff going on. I can't get on Facebook without seeing one of my friends post a pyramid scheme about weight loss. It's everywhere. Okay, so again, this video is going to cover the big don'ts, and so let's go take a look at it. All right. So again, right before we go into this, I really am stressing the application behind schooling. Most topics that I'll be bringing up in these videos will be something that you've learned in high school, maybe not learned how to apply it. You've learned like the science behind it, but you didn't learn how to apply it. A lot of it will also come from college level stuff, stressing the importance of higher education. No, you don't need it to be successful, but it definitely can help you out. Okay, so let's talk about the big don'ts here. The first big don't is don't restrict your diet too much. A lot of people, when they go on crazy health rides, they will eat all of one food, they go crazy with it, and then they'll see some kinds of level of toxicity, or they'll feel bad, or anything else can come out from that. So why do we want to moderate our food? Well, first of all, you're moderating unhealthy foods. If you have a big mix, you don't have options to get toxicity. Like for example, we can always talk about junk food and stuff, but that's just carbs. It's not technically a toxicity, it's just carbs. It's making you gain weight, we don't want that, but it's not really toxic. But then we look at things like raw eggs, which are high in avidin. Avidin inhibits biotin. You eat too many raw eggs, you can see biotin deficiencies, and that will wreck you. We see people who eat way too many of certain plants, which are loaded with alkaloids, and then boom, they have some kind of toxicity from that. Or you can be eating fish like tuna, which have high levels of mercury, or relatively high. So if you eat a few tuna steaks in a week, you might start seeing some mercury toxicity. They say you should only have 1 a week, but you can probably eat like 5 or 6 before problems happen. But don't take my word on that, because they usually put the bar very low so that if people don't follow recommendations and they like double it or triple it, they're still okay. But that being said, you need to moderate your diet. The second big reason why you want to moderate your diet is so you get a bigger mix of macromolecules. Now, these macromolecules can be essential or non-essential. Essential means that your body cannot synthesize it. You have to get it from your diet. While non-essential means either you or your gut bacteria can make it. You've heard these in the context of things like essential amino acids or essential lipids. You might have heard this with the context of vitamins. Vitamins are all essential, which is why vitamin D is kind of sketchy, because you can kind of sort of synthesize it from sun exposure, but you still get most of it from your diet because it's not enough. And that's why we have some BS things coming up, like vitamin B17, which is not a vitamin. It's a compound that contains cyanide that people think is a vitamin because they say it cures cancer. That's not what a vitamin is. That is another big health craze. I will put a video on that because it honestly makes me mad. Okay, anyways, while we're talking about essentials, I want to include this because I have to. Essential oils are not essential. They are named essential oil because they are the essence or fragrance of a plant. That is it. It is the essence of a plant. It is not essential to your health. You do not need it. Most of them are pesticides because those plants make those smells for as a pesticide. So if you over-ingest it, you tend to die. Quit thinking that they taste great. You can add them to food if you want to. Peppermint's not that bad. I don't think I want to add peppermint to my food, or maybe to a beverage. But guys, please, they're the fragrance of a plant. They're not essential. Okay, anyways. So what happens if you don't have a varied diet? If you don't have a varied diet, there's a high probability you'll miss out on some of these macromolecules that you need. So like you see vegetarians and vegans who don't properly diet, like these are like self-proclaimed, I'm going to be a vegetarian, and they just jump in it and they just eat a bunch of salad, you'll see that they start missing out on essential vitamin and they will need supplements. I believe that vitamin actually comes in from eating herbivores. So if you were eating meat, you'd be okay. Or I think the exception was if you eat unwashed plants. I'm not entirely sure. I think it comes from bacteria. But that's not my specialty. I am not a microbiologist. Okay, and some people who go on the keto diet also eat very specific fats, and in some cases, if they don't regulate this properly, it's led to deficiencies in lipids, which is a little extreme. That's pretty rare, but it has happened. Okay, cool. So the first big don't to weight loss is don't jump on a diet without ensuring proper nutrition from a dietitian. Or as I worded it earlier, don't restrict your diet too much. Okay. And I do stress dietitian over nutritionist because dietitian needs all the certification, needs a degree, needs a bunch of stuff, while nutritionist can legally be your neighbor. They got their GED, they didn't attend any college or any certification program. They just said, I'm going to be a dietitian. I'm going to be a nutritionist. So they slap that label on themselves like, hey guys, I'm a nutritionist, let me help you out. And then boom, they're a nutritionist. That is literally it. Dietitians, not nutritionists. That's who you go to. Okay. So the next big don't. Avoid the low-fat craze. Fats are not what are making you fat. Sugar is. These low-fat foods are loaded with sugar. Do you really think fat would be our culprit? I mean, like, look at the keto diet. As much as I hate the keto diet, it is successful because it's high fat, high protein, no carbs. Or essentially no carbs. Because you technically can't have no carbs. That is... Well, in processed foods, true, but there's like no natural foods that have no carbs. It's just not true. Okay, so anyways, fat is not your enemy. Sugar is when it comes to weight loss. So you want to cut down sugar as much as possible. When you see these low-fat labels, these foods have more sugar in them. So that helps with the taste, and you tend to eat a lot more of these because you're like, oh, they're good for you. So you'll eat like 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, and you just keep going because you're like, oh, if it's healthy, I can eat more of it. And that's part of the marketing. And some of these even cost more, not all of them. Some of them cost the same as their other product, but a lot of them cost more, and that's a bunch of marketing coming at you. They trick you into thinking it's healthy, so you eat it. It is marketing. Stay away. And while we're talking about fats, what about coconut oil? Why is there a coconut oil trend? Y'all know what coconut oil is made of, right? It's almost entirely saturated fats. In most cases, vegetable oils, like the generic oils, are healthier than coconut oils. What the hell? Like, why'd y'all jump on that? If you want to use it for your skin, be my guest, because it's still a moisturizer. But saturated fats are supposed to be moderation in your diet. Like, I'm not sure where this is coming in. Just watch out for fads. They can be very misleading. A lot of these superstars are like, hey, do this. This is what led me to be healthy. And then their entire follower group does it, and it's BS. Okay, so my third big don't is avoid avoid any products that guarantee a fast solution. So nearly all these are fake. They're part of like pyramid schemes. They're part of just BS fads, and it can be very dangerous. They're snake oil. Most of them are fake, but the few that do work can be dangerous. So even if one person says, hey, this worked, it's still very sketchy. There's a reason why doctors aren't prescribing these pills, because that leads to more health complications. But yeah, so how these work, many of them cause you to lose water weight, so not actual fat, so you'll just gain that back. Some will modify some hormonal stuff. Maybe it modifies insulin. It could screw with oxidative phosphorylation, citric acid cycle. Maybe it just makes you go to the bathroom more often, so you don't really have the ability to absorb as many nutrients from food. By the way, that's called diarrhea. And a lot of people think that diarrhea is a health thing. They think it's healthy. I was watching a bunch of videos from Miles Powers. Love him. He does videos like this, but he's like 1 billion times better. And he was talking about some of these health quacks who will actually suggest you drink, I think it was like kale mixed with, what salt is that? The pink salt. So it's just a bunch of magnesium and sodium, and it's just salt. Let's be honest. It's salt with a few extra cations in it for color. They suggest you drink this blend, and they claim that the diarrhea that's leaving your body isn't actual diarrhea. It's cleansing. It's some cleansing energy, healing. They called it water falling. I'm just like, dude, it's diarrhea. That's what that is. You drank so much salt that your body's trying to get rid of it. It's diarrhea. So be careful of any damn solution that says this is fast, this is effective, this will happen in a week or so, you will see results immediately. Yes, there are some things like diet and exercise that you can see results within a couple weeks, but ignore the pills. Please stay away from them. Ignore these crazy things saying drink all the salt water, please. Okay, so my second big don't: avoid fads, avoid pyramid schemes, avoid all of that. I'm kidding. Third big don't. So third big don't: avoid these pyramid schemes, avoid these fads, avoid anything that promises a quick and fast solution. Remember the old phrase, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Okay, so my fourth big don't, this is more of a personal thing, but I'm throwing it in there anyways because it'll burn a hole in your wallet, and you don't want that. Don't jump on organic foods, all natural diets. Just stay away from those. I will have at least a video or two devoted to how this is just a marketing scam. The market started with good intentions, but it went downhill. Organic food still contains pesticides. It still has effectively the same nutrition as conventional produce. There's a few examples that showed a little bit more, but most show no results. Like, you can't even tell which ones are more nutritious. And this is through very, very, very precise quantitative analysis. So these just burn a hole in your wallets. They don't even give you the results you're looking for. Organic isn't healthier or more ethical like the industry was originally going for. Now, if you do want something that you feel is more ethical, or if you do want to do things better for your community, look for local farmers. Local farmers market. You can look for any brands that say local, although considering that stores like, I'm here in Texas, so we have a supermarket called H-E-B, and it's basically a Kroger. But they give back to the community a lot. They have stuff all over the place that says local, and since every H-E-B I've ever been in has the same brand, something tells me it's just somewhere in Texas. It's not even local. So you gotta be careful reading that label, but most of the time it is actually local. So if you really want to go on that train, do it, but not organic, not natural. If you really want all natural, I mean, guys, come on. All natural doesn't say anything for safety. Anyone who's taking like 2 days of chemistry class should know that natural does not do with anything. Like, a molecule is a molecule. They have their properties from what they are, not from where they come from. For example, if I told you I had this all-natural protein and you should eat it because it's good for you, and then I gave you like ricin from a castor bean, which is a all-natural protein, or if I gave you Botox, botulinum toxin, from the botulinum bacterium, both of those will kill you in a heartbeat. They're all natural proteins, but they don't care about you. They want you to die. Like, geez. In fact, those are two toxins that you can ingest and will kill you, not just inject. That's how toxic they can be. Okay, anyways, so this is enough for the first video in this series. Video 2 will cover a lot more content, especially regarding math behind calculating your carbohydrate-based metabolic needs. There's a really cool way of doing this. It's pretty straightforward. It takes a concept that you learned back in middle school and then uses the math that you learned in high school chemistry to put that in motion. So, not too bad, and I think that'd be really good, just showing you how to get a personalized idea of how much carbohydrates you burn in a day, so that you can tailor diets to that number. Now, there are better methods. There's lots of ways of doing this. There's doctors who will actually do this math for you, but this is a quick and easy thing that you can do yourself, and it gives you a good ballpark estimate so that you can start tailoring to your dieting needs. All right, so feel free to get some discussion going in the comments. Engagement not only allows me to get involved in my comments, but these questions and so forth also encourage YouTube to send out my video to more people. That's how the YouTube algorithm works. If there's a lot of engagements on my video, they send it out to more. So please comment, let me know what's going on, let me know your thoughts, and I'll answer any questions that I can. Peace out, guys.